Life, as we live it, comes with responsibilities and choices. The ancient wisdom of the Vedas tells us that there are two primary paths a person can take: the path of action, karma, and the path of knowledge, jnana. Now, not everyone is ready or able to take the path of knowledge, which requires deep meditation, detachment from worldly desires, and a renunciation of everything material. For those who are not prepared for such a life, the scriptures recommend the path of action, living a life of duty, responsibility, and righteous deeds. This verse tells us that if a person wishes to live a full life, even up to 100 years, then they should engage in karma, meaning they should perform their duties and responsibilities as prescribed by the scriptures. It emphasizes that action or karma is the way to live in this world without being burdened by sin or negative consequences. Now, you might wonder, why is action important? The scriptures explain that when we perform our duties selflessly, without attachment to the results, our actions do not create bondage. Normally, any action we do with selfish motives leads to consequences, just like a seed grows into a tree that eventually bears fruit. If we do good actions, we reap good results. If we engage in harmful or selfish actions, we suffer the consequences. But the key here is performing actions without attachment, doing our duties because they are the right thing to do, not because we seek rewards or fear punishment. This verse also makes an important distinction between those who seek liberation, moksha, and those who wish to live a worldly life. The path of knowledge, taken by renunciants or sannyasins, is for those who are ready to leave behind all worldly attachments, go into deep contemplation, and realize the true nature of the self. However, not everyone is at that stage. Most people have families, responsibilities, and duties towards society. For such people, the path of action is recommended, not meaningless action, but actions that align with dharma, righteousness, and are done in service of a greater purpose. The ancient rituals, like Agnihotra, sacred fire offerings, were examples of such selfless actions, but the principle applies to any duty performed with sincerity and selflessness. The commentary further clarifies that there is no way to escape action as long as one lives in this world. Even avoiding action is a kind of action. So, the best approach is to act in a way that does not bind us, to engage in our duties without attachment, without greed, and without selfish motives. By doing so, we ensure that our actions do not create unnecessary burdens or karma that we will have to face later. But here's where the distinction between the two paths becomes clear. The Upanishads say that while both the path of karma, action, and the path of renunciation, Sanyasa, exist, the path of renunciation is considered superior for those who are ready. True renunciation means giving up not just physical attachments but also mental and emotional attachments. It means seeing the entire world as unreal, a temporary illusion, and focusing entirely on the higher reality, which is the Atma, the true self, or Brahman, the ultimate reality. However, since not everyone can walk this path, the Vedas provide an alternative, the path of selfless action. The great sage Vyasa, who compiled the Vedas and wrote the Mahabharata, also discussed these two paths extensively and concluded that both are valid, but they lead to different destinations. The path of action, when performed correctly, purifies the mind and prepares a person for higher spiritual understanding. The path of renunciation, on the other hand, is for those who are already prepared to let go of all worldly ties and seek the ultimate truth directly. In essence, this verse is a message of balance and practical wisdom. It tells us that while the highest truth is realized through renunciation, not everyone can walk that path immediately. For those who wish to live a full life, engaging in their duties without attachment is the way to stay free from the chains of karma. This teaching is not just about ancient rituals. It applies to modern life as well. Whether you are a teacher, a parent, a worker, or a leader, if you do your duty sincerely, selflessly, and with a sense of purpose, your actions will not bind you, and you will live a meaningful life. That is the essence of this teaching.